Happy Friday and welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show. I'm Anthony, joined
you are.
by our favorite substitute, the one, the only Shawn DePaz.
Yeah, I am.
It's one of those days for you, man, where you're just all over the network.
Yeah, man. Those are my Fridays, but I love it. Some people aren't built like that. Some people can't take the pressure. Can't take the grind. I embrace the grind.
Part of the reason I love when Jacob produces this show is because the music just carries on, and I'm tired. I'm like, how can you not? It's Friday, guys. It is Friday. ASU has a scrimmage tomorrow over at Camp T. We're going to talk about that a little bit because we got some sound from the one, the only KD. No, I'm not talking about Kevin Durant. I'm talking about Phoenix's very own Kenny Dillingham. We've got Hotter
for a second.
Yeah, no, people make that mistake all the time, especially when he shows up to Suns games too. It's a big issue. They try and get him on the court. It is what it is. We've also got some interesting details as to the Pac-12's media rights deal that was allegedly offered to them from ESPN. And if you were somebody that wanted the Pac to stick together, you aren't going to love what those details say because you could have stayed together, George. Could have stayed together, George. But you got curious and you opted to go do something else. And then we've also got the question of the hour, which is what is Arizona State's financial value to the new Big 12? And we've got some actual numbers for that as well. But I do want to kick things off with that Pac-12 deal that I want to say it was back in 2022 that was initially offered. So according to John Canzano, so take this with a grain of salt, ESPN offered a TV rights deal of about $30 million per school last fall, which is a better offer than what Pac-12 Commissioner George Kliavkoff brought to the table from Apple this summer. The article goes on to say that Canzano was reporting that Pac-12 presidents and chancellors wanted more from ESPN, asking for about $50 million per school. ESPN obviously declined. There was no way that they were going to give the Pac-12 that kind of money. And then Canzano reporting that a source told him the exchange with ESPN and the Pac-12 went as follows, quote, "You know what we told ESPN after their $30 million per school offer? We said we wanted $50 million. And the source said, what was ESPN's response? He was told, goodbye." You weren't getting that much money, man. But what you could have had was some damn stability in this conference, and we wouldn't even be having this conversation about ASU in the new Big 12 because you'd still have the Pac-12.
Yeah, I think there needed to be a certain sense of being honest about what the Pac-12 is right now and also what it could be. Like, you kind of have to bet on yourself in that instance, I think. And, if you think the Pac should have more money, the reality is that you weren't getting that from ESPN. I think but knowing that it's ESPN, it's the worldwide leader in sports, and it ultimately ended up being more money than they were going to get anywhere else. Like, you got to take it and then get the Pac-12 stable and then to a position where you do deserve that more money, which I think that, especially from a football perspective, was easily accomplishable. I think you saw the Pac-12 starting to get closer to being like a legitimate member of the Power Five, because I think there was a few years where it was a little bit of a joke, and obviously the Pac-12 still has a problem with cannibalizing itself and all that, but there are really good teams in this conference, undeniably, or I guess were in this conference, and so I think that they had an opportunity to kind of bet on themselves and take what they got from ESPN there, and they obviously fumbled that bag.
They let a fourth grader do the negotiations for this. What are we talking about? Like, we'll give you $30 million. The worldwide leader comes to you and is like, yeah, we're going to give you $30 million per school, which you look now in hindsight, it would have been more than what Apple was trying to offer you in the first place this past summer. And you go back and you're like, yeah, we want almost double. We want almost double for easily, in terms of revenue sports, the worst.
LTC.
Or probably the fourth outside of the ACC, just in terms of viewership, right? And you're like, yeah, you can go shove that offer, pretty much. Like, what?
LTC, Dennis Schroeder, and the Pac-12, the same person. That's tough.
And ending up with the same
Dennis
scenario.
Schroeder. I like Dennis Schroeder.
You don't like the Pac-4?
Not
is
anymore.
What it is now?
Not anymore.
Look, and again, I don't know the exact details as to if every single president and chancellor was on board with this. Obviously, they wanted more money, but if you're Cal, Stanford, Washington State, and Oregon State right now, and you see this, right? Obviously, again, they knew the way this played out.
Yeah,
but you got to be sitting there pissed off at the fact that you could have had stability, and now you don't have really anything to look forward to outside of this season.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on how that went, right? Because if those schools were the schools being like, "Hey, I think maybe we should take this money," then they're probably really pissed, right? If they were on the side where they're like, "No, we want more money too," well then you have yourself to blame as much as you have everyone else to blame in that instance. So that I don't know, but yeah, I mean, obviously, again, hindsight's 2020. You sit there now and you're like, damn, I really wish we had taken it. And obviously, all these other schools don't necessarily probably feel like that. Yeah. I mean, maybe they do because, right? If I'm not mistaken, that the Oregon and Washington are not getting full.
Yeah, I don't believe. They're not getting full
from the Big Ten right away, right? So. But isn't even then. That's still a decent amount of money.
Yeah, I mean that's still. And again,
I think it was like $30 million. Still,
their brands and their programs are notable.
And they're going to get that money, whatever. But still, yeah, I'm sure. In hindsight's 2020. If you're one of those schools that is now left in the shell of the Pac-12, you're probably really wishing you had that money as opposed to whatever that you're about to be making in the Mountain West.
Oh God. It's gonna
or
be
the ACC maybe
or the AAC.
It's crazy to me when you look at Pac-12 sports, and I would say right now that Stanford and Cal are probably like the least respected athletic programs, and somehow they're going to be the ones that play in a Power 5 conference on the other side of the country, and Oregon State and Washington State, who are respectable programs, and their Oregon State football is going to start the season ranked. Like they are going to get left out to dry. Crazy to me, and that make a lot of sense, but I think those schools can elevate the Mountain West.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But again, if I'm the Mountain West, I think the Mountain West at this point wants a merger between the Pac-4 and the Mountain West as opposed to having to poach some of these schools. So it'll be interesting to see if Kliavkoff and the remaining presidents and chancellors, what they do going forward. But my last point on that before we get to the ASU's impact financially and their value to the Big 12 is just like if I am, again, Washington State, Cal, Stanford, and Oregon State, regardless of what aisle you were on of the pushing for more money from ESPN or taking that deal, you're sitting here now with what I have to imagine is very little trust in the leadership in George Kliavkoff. Very little hope in that he can get you to a place that brings stability because he's had so many damn opportunities and they've had such a long period of time to get something figured out. And time and again, it feels like he's just shooting the conference in the foot.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, now if he's not like officially dead, it is definitely do or die for Georgie K. Because you gotta, as far as these four schools are concerned, and again, we don't necessarily know how these schools are looking at it because maybe they don't necessarily blame Kliavkoff. They more blame the selfishness of the other schools, right? And so if Kliavkoff can, now that they're in this situation, navigate them into a place where they do merge with the Mountain West or something like that, and he can kind of rescue those four schools into the best situation possible now that they are where they are, maybe he can rescue himself. But that really depends on how those schools are looking at it. Regardless, I think it would probably be a mistake because, like you said, he does seemingly shoot himself or shoot the conference in the foot repeatedly. And again, he was not dealt with the best set of cards, right? I mean, I feel like we see this with like presidents all the time, right? Yeah. Like you everyone criticizes the president, but it's like, okay, they showed up and the last president screwed everything up. Like that's kind of what happened here too. So it's hard to know. It's
also like if we're using that analogy, right? There's presidents that again dealt horrible situations
and figure it out.
And this is a president.
No, 100%.
This is like a president got dealt a shitty hand. Is like, okay, we're going to war. That's
100%.
What this is. Yeah, this is like there are about 100 different ways that you could play this. He's like, nah, we're gonna do it my way.
Press the button.
Like, God damn it, George.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Oh, it's tough. But Arizona State, Arizona, Utah, Colorado, obviously the four schools leaving the Pac-12, going to the Big 12, and then obviously USC, UCLA, Oregon, and Washington all making their way to the Big 10. But as it relates to Arizona State and the Big 12, we've got some interesting numbers. Saw this posted online from somebody that just does a shit ton of data, right? And they pulled together.
Those people, by the way, are just like, those are the heroes.
They're heroes. They're math.
No one
they're wizards.
We don't want to be doing this shit. We don't want to be looking through all these numbers.
I know.
The people that find joy in it, or at least find the energy to do it, are heroes.
So this is, and again, this isn't necessarily as updated as you'd like it. You see especially when you get some of those numbers, TCU, Baylor, and BYU on the far right side fiscally. Those numbers coming from USA Today in 2022. And then, again, you look at the 2019 EADA per college factual and then the revenue EADA in 2021. So for people that don't know what EADA is, and
I was just about to ask.
Yeah, me this morning. It is revenue. So for the purposes of EADA reporting, revenue is any money used to pay for team expenses. If money is earned in previous years and used to pay for expenses in the current year, then that is revenue both for that year that it was earned and the year that it was used. So pretty much the way you put it is just it's revenue, right? So TCU leading the Big 12, at least from their numbers in 2021 with a just ridiculous $138 million. And then Kansas following with $124 million. Arizona, surprisingly, at least in my mind, at $119 million, because I think when we talk about Arizona, we obviously talk about their basketball program and what it does. But let's be real, football is always going to be king, so it is kind of surprising to see where they're at. Yeah. Baylor at 4 with $111 million. Arizona State coming in at 5 at $107 million. So we'll take that down and we'll get to the rest of those a little bit later. But in terms of Arizona and Arizona State immediately being top 5.
Yeah.
And not only top 5, but you're talking about a conference that is adding a bunch of schools. And those are the two that are atop the list in terms of the newbies, really adding significant financial value to a conference that I think really, really wants to keep up with the Big Ten in the SEC. And adding the Arizona schools, we talked about it, just made so much sense.
Yeah, and it's part of why I was never really worried about either of their survivals, right? Obviously, U of A was, I don't think, really ever in question because they just have, especially basketball, they have a certain amount of I think, leeway and leadership that will push the agenda in a certain way that they were always going to be okay.
Yeah.
But I never felt worried about ASU either because it gets brought up every time these conversations had. They have a massive TV market, and that's always going to bring them a ton of value as far as this goes. And then it's like a massive school, man, in a major metropolitan area. Like, of course, there's gonna be value there always. And maybe the sports have not, or at least the revenue sports have not been the greatest as of late.
They're making money.
But yeah, and I mean, right? Like I think we have high expectations, and last year sucked. But let's be real. Like the year before that, Herm got them to a bowl game. Like they were. It's not like they were what the U of A football was. Like they were at least a somewhat respectable football program. So like isn't that this? I think ultimately, when you think about it and break it down, it shouldn't be that surprising.
Yeah, and Glenn brings it up. Dillingham's going to have more butts and seats this year. Revenue should jump even more. So, no, that's absolutely a really good point, right? And you could see, I think, in 2023, especially if this is a football program that has a decent season, that you're going to see Arizona State really take a jump in terms of value, in terms of the Big 12. Just moving down the rest of that list, right? So you got Texas Tech following at $103 million, Oklahoma State at $101, Kansas State at $100. Utah, kind of surprisingly, at 97. This is an interesting situation because we know what their football program is, but their other sports not that great. West Virginia at $97 million. Deion Coach Prime Sanders in Colorado over at $95 million.
This is where I feel like it's important to again remind people that these numbers are not necessarily now.
Yes.
Because a lot has changed in the last few months for Colorado, and so their numbers next year are probably going to look a little bit different if I had to guess.
After Colorado, you got BYU at another $95 million.
That one surprises me.
Iowa State, 86, UCF, 85, Houston, 78, and then Cincinnati, just $60 million. Again, from the top of this list, TCU and Kansas have more than double what Cincinnati, at least in that 2021 revenue EADA. You kind of brought it up and answered my question, but what of these schools financially surprises you?
Yeah, I mean, again, Colorado, I think, is going to end up being a pretty different picture for the next couple of years. Yeah. BYU surprises me just because, I don't want to get too deep into this, but when you have a school backed by something like the Mormon Church, like to that scale, I'm just surprised. Like when you have such an inherent backing like that, I'm just kind of surprised they don't make a little more money. Outside of that, I can't say it's like too surprising to me. Utah being again in a city like Salt Lake City, you would think maybe makes a little bit more, but again, they're not really that much of a relevant brand. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Blake in the chat. Blake, I'm not even going to read your comment, but don't let the door hit you on the way out, buddy.
I can kick him if you want.
He's fine. Yeah. He's fine.
It's good for the numbers.
Cincinnati kind of surprises me at $60 million.
Yeah.
I just really
this team is in the college football playoff.
Yeah, and they've for such a long time they've had such stability with Luke Fickell at the helm. Obviously, he's now at Wisconsin, but it really does surprise me that a university that was in the college football playoff not too long ago. Their numbers look like this.
Well, yeah, I mean, and again, you have to take this in a grain of salt because you look at the bottom, the three bottom schools, they're all coming from non-Power 5 conferences, right? And so, despite the fact that they're in major cities, it's Orlando, Houston, and Cincinnati, or somewhat major cities. So, like all of these have to be taken with a grain of salt in that regard because they were obviously just making less money at a conference like that.
Yeah.
Which is again why you see these. You see schools like Arizona State and Arizona be at the top, despite what the Pac-12 has kind of been in recent years.
Yeah.
But still, it is very interesting to see how it shakes out because you do have a lot of schools in very different situations. You have schools like those American Conference schools that are jumping up because it is a chance to elevate their programs. Whereas the Pac-12 schools, not necessarily so much about elevation, although it may do that. It's just about survival. They're not doing this because it's going to change the state of their program and make them something bigger than they've been in the past. It's again, maybe we'll do that, but that's not why they're doing this.
Yeah. Look, I think this just solidifies the fact that everybody that was talking early on about Arizona State and the Big Ten and in the Big 12, that there wouldn't be conferences that would want them because, I mean, you look at the records of some of their major sports and it doesn't really add up, but financially it makes a lot of sense. And again, you brought it up earlier, the market of Arizona is always going to be such a valuable piece to this
Missouri's survived in the SEC for how long?
Yeah, no, you're right.
And they're like, who cares about Missouri? And they don't have that TV market in the way that Phoenix does. And they don't have that nationwide fan base in the way that Arizona does. So like I said, I was never really all that worried about the survival. And when I thought about it, I guess Colorado and Utah were never really in that picture in my mind. And I'm glad that they've come along too, but I was never really worried about these two schools.
Yeah, absolutely. I do want to get to Kenny Dillingham on what he had to say over at Camp T because some really interesting stuff ahead of that scrimmage. But before, I want to tell you guys about our friends over at Pins and Aces. It is hot as hell in Arizona, but that doesn't mean you can't get up early in the morning, get a little tea time.
The mornings aren't too bad.
No, so this morning it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It really was. Go golfing, and when you go golfing, get yourself some Pins and Aces because they're the official golf apparel partner of PHNX in All City, guys. They have got some amazing polos, hats, golf bags. It is all affordable, and it is very, very comfortable. Again, their hats, their polos, they're super awesome. You can get the PHNX, the Phoenix. The specialized one is just the one that we have. It's so damn.
Every time I open up my closet, it's like I feel like there's a little like spotlight on it. It just pops.
Yeah, it does. That's what I was wearing in the office the other day, and yeah, it really does stand out, guys. Check out pinsandaces.com and use code PHNX to receive 15% off your first order and get free shipping. That's pinsandaces.com. Now,
you see all this dope stuff around us at the site here?
I do.
See this?
That is pretty cool. What is that?
It's like a cardinal sugar skull with a
nice little beanie
on it, but that's not. I don't think
that's
a FOCO thing. A lot of this merch that you see around us that is very dope is from our friends over at FOCO. And the thing that's really cool about it, that I just learned this not too long ago.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was like limited edition. So like, let me grab. Where's the? Arcatel stuff is in the other one. There's
your
like,
D-bag stuff.
D-bag's in the other one, but like you pick it up and there's literally like a sticker on it that says like this is 33 of the 72 that are made, and they're like limited edition. I didn't know that. So FOCO, they're amazing. They're the leader in the best officially licensed gear for all sports and fandoms: baseball, basketball, hockey, whatever you want. They always have our back, and they have yours too, so you can get the best gear around by visiting www.foco.com using code PHNX. For all non-presale items, use the promo code PHNX for 10% off. Shout out FOCO.
Go check them out, guys.
FOCO.
All right. Shane was up at Camp Tontozona earlier today. He's got some great stuff cooking with Jalen Conyer, so stay locked in on our social, PHNX_Sun Devils for that. But they got the scrimmage tomorrow morning. I'm going to be up there, and I think all eyes are obviously going to be on that quarterback competition as it has been for the entirety, really, of fall camp. Drew Pine, Trenton Bourguet, kind of going back and forth. So Kenny was asked about the quarterback competition and kind of where it stands right now, and he gave a pretty interesting answer. This is what Kenny had to say.
It's good. I mean, it's a good battle. It's back and forth, back and forth. You know, it's hard to sit out there, right, if you're not in the meetings and have a clue, no offense, because you don't know what group they're going with. You don't know what call we had. We script things versus defensive calls that are bad plays on purpose. We'll script 6 plays for a quarterback where we know they're horrible plays because I want to see how they respond. Everybody may say that guy had a horrible day because he was 6 for 37. Little did you guys know, we put him in the most adverse situations possible today to see, did this dude make catastrophic mistakes or did this dude not make catastrophic mistakes? And I think some guys are stepping up in that category of not making catastrophics and keeping us on in rhythm and on pace.
That is such an interesting thing to do. At least that's what I thought when I saw that. Obviously, there's so much that goes into these practices, and that little piece of like, we are quite literally, there are times in practice where we are putting these quarterbacks in the worst situation possible, knowing that these plays can't really happen unless somebody makes magic work. And that's really how you get your starting quarterback.
Yeah, and what I really found interesting was at the end there, he kind of said it seems like someone might be separating themselves a little bit. He said that some people are elevating and not making those catastrophic mistakes, and some are. And so maybe obviously we're moving closer to an actual decision there, but it does seem like there's movement maybe in that competition.
Yeah, and I think that obviously Camp Tontozona, the practices up there is huge for the team, not only on the field, but from a leadership perspective, right? You're spending so much time with these guys that I think this is, again, where you're going to really start to learn who your quarterback is. And then you look tomorrow at that scrimmage. I think that scrimmage is going to be a huge point for fans too, right? Because one thing that quarterback competitions do, especially in fall camp, is they kind of pit each other. They pin. Whoa, I can't even say it right. They're pinning these quarterbacks against one another, right? So I think at a certain point, the fans are going to really make their call tomorrow on who they want to be that starting quarterback.
Which, let's be real, I think a lot of them have already.
Yeah, I think so.
A lot of people are going to form opinions based off names, really.
And they haven't even, but that's the thing, is a lot of them haven't seen what they're fully capable of.
No. People, let's be real. Most Arizona State fans do not really know anything about Drew Pine. They don't know what kind of quarterback
they hear Notre Dame.
Exactly. And then there's a lot of people who, like, let's be real, we've only seen a small sample size of Trenton Bourguet. You don't really know who he is either. So it is a lot is going to be figured out. Yeah, very soon.
Absolutely. And one thing that does hurt the quarterback competition is that those quarterbacks on Arizona State's roster are not going to have the luxury of wide receiver Jake Smith. His waiver got denied by the NCAA yesterday. Really, really tough situation for a kid that obviously had some medical issues, has transferred before. Obviously, this is why he is trying or did try to get cleared to play this season. And it sucks because he was having such a great fall camp.
Yeah, the name you kept hearing pop up.
But when the news broke that his waiver got denied, obviously there was a lot of people upset. Jake Smith's dad, obviously, on social media going, because Jake Smith's not the only one that had his waiver denied. There was a wide receiver at UNC that also had a similar situation. So Kenny was asked about it this morning, and this is what he had to say.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous, to be honest. I think it's a kid who's an unbelievable kid who went through a lot, and college football is supposed to be about helping kids achieve their dreams, helping them become young men, and it's very disappointing that I think this game helps Jake Smith. I think Jake Smith's last 6 months here, growing and maturing as a young man who's had a lot of ups and downs and who's had a high in his life right now, for him to have to face that when he's on an upward trajectory is the opposite of what college athletics is supposed to be, because it should be about helping the student athlete. And I think that decision is hurting our student athlete. And I think it's not just hurting ours. I think there's other kids around the country. And I understand there's people that take advantage of rules and try to manipulate the system in poor taste. But at the same token, that's part of life. People are always going to manipulate whatever rules you have. There's nothing you can do about it. So you better do right to the people who are doing it right. And Jake Smith does it right.
I mean, fuck the NCAA, dude. That shit. It's corrupt. It just sucks. And I mean, this is coming, I think, yesterday or maybe the day before they had made the decision that they were gonna limit the rules for second-time transfers and only grant waivers in situations, specifically in situations of medical or personal safety.
Yeah.
And this is that to a T. And they still denied it. It doesn't make any sense. The NCAA rules unilaterally without any consistency in their judgment. It makes no damn sense. It's terrible. And I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be surprised because, I mean, the NCAA fucks stuff up like this all the time when it comes to treating the young men and women that play sports and make them money like real fucking human beings and treating them properly and equally. They mess it up all the time when they get those opportunities. So I'm not surprised by it at all. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
It's what the NCAA is known for.
Yeah.
Right. It's just kind of really, really fucking over some of these student athletes that don't necessarily deserve it. Right.
Yeah.
This is a kid in Jake Smith that has had a really shaky career in college, again, because of injury and some of the transfers. And this felt like his opportunity to really do something. Obviously, coming home to Arizona, a place where he played high school ball, like I think everybody was really rooting for Jake Smith that Arizona State would be the spot for him.
Yeah.
And I think if there's one thing that the NCAA needs now in a time more than ever, with so many eyes on it, specifically revolving around money and so few discussions about the players themselves, I think would have been, a nice story like this where a kid comes home and he makes it work. He makes his collegiate career finally work when he's had everything go against him the entire time. So for the NCAA to do that is really just a middle finger to him.
And like Kenny pointed out, like, yeah, maybe people take advantage of it, but like, I'll go a step further than Kenny. Who cares? It's fucking college football, dog. Like, people want to play football, let them play where they want to play. HK. Like, I get that sometimes those lead to bad situations, but they're human beings, dude. They let them do whatever they want to do. It's for like.
Just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, why are we so concerned with where these kids decide they want to play a sport?
It's just some of the rules are so backwards to me.
Yeah,
and I get some of the transfer stuff, and I get this has nothing to do with college football, what I'm about to use, right? But like the idea that Jake Smith can't play at Arizona State when he wouldn't have even been able to play at USC this season.
Which is, again, textbook waiver situation in my mind.
But J.R. Smith, who was a professional athlete, could
go golf.
Down to the collegiate level and obviously not play the same sport, but play an entirely different sport at a collegiate level. When you're
It's just like it just doesn't make sense.
Like,
do I have a problem with J.R. Smith going to play golf?
No, I know.
It's awesome. He should be able to do that. But like, and Jake Smith should be able to play for Arizona State this year.
Yes,
like they should all be able to do those things. It doesn't make any sense, dude, at all. The NCAA sucks.
But that's what the NCAA does. Right?
Yeah, and I mean, this is the other side of something I talked about earlier on TPSP, and that a bunch of coaches have talked about, and you're hearing more and more. Just football didn't need the NCAA. Like, do your own thing. It'd be better for the non-revenue sports, and you would have more, like, the schools would have more control. The athletes would be treated better, I think. Like, the NCAA is just a middleman that sucks at being a middleman. It's annoying as shit to me.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely with it. It really does suck. But on a more positive note, there's still the chance that Xavier Alford gets his waiver cleared. So you got to hope, if you're an Arizona State fan, that gets passed.
And again, there was no consistency in what they do, so it's a complete toss-up, it feels like.
You never know. And Xavier Alford, he's slated in my eyes to be a starting safety.
Yeah.
So you really, really want that to come through because he's been an absolute dog in fall camp. So it would suck to have two guys that were potentially going to play a lot for Arizona State this season not get the chance to play in a Sun Devil uniform. So that would really suck. But regardless, guys, it is Friday. So you know what that means. It means it's time to crack open those OGs and have yourself a weekend. It's hot. Maybe go inside, turn on a great movie, pop some OGs, play some video games, maybe get some snacks.
You threw me off there. I thought you were going 4 peaks because you were like, crack open some OGs.
Crack open some OGs.
Crack open a package.
I just like to keep you on your toes, and so does OGs with all those different flavors, guys. They got pink lemonade gummies. They got the Aquaberry Sleep Edition if you have a tough time sleeping. They've got all sorts of creams and fruits, blackberries and cream, red apple, peach. They have it all, guys. We highly recommend you check out OGs online at ogsbrands.com and on Instagram over at OGs Brands. You can also find their products at your local dispo. You do got to be 21 years or older to purchase.
Yeah, and we were talking earlier when we were talking about pins and aces. Like, it's pretty nice out in the mornings.
Yeah.
At times you can get out there, get outside, maybe go play some golf. But that doesn't keep the sun from being bright as hell. It's still attacking at all times. So you need some sunglasses. You need sunglasses you can trust, that are good quality, that aren't going to break on you. And even if they do break on you, you're going to get placed. And there's no one that does that better than our friends over at Shady Rays. They simply make the best sunglasses. And there's 250,000 people who agree with me that have rated them 5 stars. So check them out. You can head either online or you can head to their Kierland Commons brick-and-mortar location to actually try them out. And if you don't love your Shady Rays, you can exchange them for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. No risk when you shop. Shady Rays always has your back. So like I said, exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people.
And get yourself up to Camp T. Okay. Yeah. Tomorrow, the scrimmage is going to be a lot of fun, a lot of Sun Devil fans out there. And again, this is the first year that it's back, and I want to say 4 or 5 seasons. So definitely go check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. And look, you're getting closer to the season. We are less than 25 days now till Arizona State kicks off the football season. So go get a look. Maybe go check it out. And then on Monday, hop back in the chat. Let us know what you thought of Camp T, maybe who you thought is winning that quarterback competition. You never know. But regardless, I'll be up there. Come say hi. Shane's already up there. Shane's going to be there as well tomorrow. But that's tomorrow. Today is today, and it is Friday, which means it is time for Hot or Not.
Hot or Not.
Jacob, without further ado, who is hot this week? The Deef.
It's just crazy that I'm very rarely on this show, let alone on this show on Fridays, and I kind of feel like I should get it whenever I'm on the show, to be quite honest with you. Because
that's just entitlement. If I've ever heard it.
It is entitlement, but I think it's deserved.
Makes me want to delete your little.
I am going out of my way to help you. I'll just never be on a Friday show. Have fun, Totri.
Well, wait, yeah. Why am I getting punished?
Well, you said you make it sound like you seem like you agree with Jacob.
I just think whoever's hot in the producer's eyes for that specific time, there's a reason the producer controls the segment.
Shane drove up to Camp T to get us content today.
Yeah, he did.
To drive back up tomorrow, and if that's not hot.
He did do these things.
No, that's fair. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. I'm just saying
you're just upset that
I feel like this has happened multiple times. You would think I'm so on it so rarely. No, I know I'm not. I'm just saying I've happened so
Life's
rarely
not fair, bud.
that I'm on the show. What's that?
Life's not fair.
No, that is true. Ask Jake Smith.
Fuck.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, bro. Damn. Okay, well, without further ado, what's the first topic, Jacob?
Spiked coffee.
That is hot as fuck.
Coming out with a line
hot
of
as fuck. I saw
coffee.
Dunkin' Donuts was going to do that, and I thought to myself, I actually texted multiple people, so this is maybe just me saying I like to drink sometimes. But if you're going to drink all day, I'm not necessarily...
You can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning.
And I'm not necessarily the type of person that wants to crack open a beer at the start of the day, right? Or like a vodka soda. Oh, that sounds awful to start your day. But... throw in some spiked coffee, some spiked iced coffee from Dunkin'. That sounds like the perfect way to start my drinking day. Absolutely.
What's cooler than being cold?
Ice cold.
That's ice cold. That shit sounds terrible.
Oh my gosh.
First off, you could just have some mimosas, which is the preferred, or Bloody Marys, which I've never had, but either way, I know.
A Bloody
Mary. They're elite.
So good.
I've heard, but I'm saying either way, there's like breakfast alcohol drinks. A. B, like, I don't drink coffee. I drink coffee for like kind of the opposite reason of getting drunk. Like, I want to be like it to perk me up and be alert. So like, those two things don't really sound good together. I know this is an unpopular opinion, but I don't like espresso martinis. I don't really like coffee things that are not just coffee. So I'm so very out on spiked coffee.
I love espresso martinis.
Kind of hurt. Espresso martinis are
but only in the right space, and I don't think I could do a spiked iced coffee.
I feel like espresso martinis are like a consensus thing that people.
It's a dessert. It's a dessert drink for me.
It's an unpopular.
And I'm not just gonna grab I'm at a party and I'm gonna grab a spiked iced coffee.
Yeah, you're not. But like that's again. This is not like it's midnight.
But like also you're going to Dunkin' for this. Like, I'm
not driving. No, you're getting like a case.
Okay, it's like a Dunkin'.
I'm not driving. I don't know if
they'll do that. I
didn't really think that through.
I could never see myself drinking spiked iced coffee.
Because that's my thing.
And you're not drinking it by yourself. That's weird as fuck too.
I'm not. There's not a whole lot of times I'm drinking in the morning, and if I am, it's usually for a specific thing where I'm either like I'm getting mimosas, like it's brunch.
So get a coffee.
No, I'll get mimosas and I'll get a regular coffee. Like, there's better ways to get drunk, and I love coffee by itself. So I would not like. There's no reason why I would do.
You don't want to taint coffee? Is that what it is?
No, and I don't like Irish coffee. Like, I don't like Bailey's. So I don't like.
You're not a sweets guy.
I'm not a sweet coffee guy. Like, I drink my coffee black.
Yeah.
I don't like milk. I don't like because you get it, and anything you add to coffee. I was talking about this with Lindsay the other day. Anything you add to coffee almost always makes it one of three things: milkier, chocolatier, or nuttier. And I hate all of those things. So I'm out. I just drink my coffee black.
I mean, I drink my coffee black too, but I like sweet things from time to time.
Yeah, but if I want things that are supposed to be sweet, like I'd rather just like a juice, like a mimosa.
Yeah.
I'd rather have juice than I'd rather have a mimosa than spiked coffee every time. And I don't think there's a single situation in which spiked coffee would be appropriate that a mimosa's not.
We got Bees in the chat. What's up, Bees? And then Jet also saying they're perfect for skiing, to be honest. Glenn, not hot. I don't drink coffee.
Okay, I will say that. I could see like if it's a spiked hot coffee, I could see that being appropriate for a ski trip. I could see that because it's more at that point about being warm, not because you want coffee. So that I could see.
Jacob looks like he's going through some shit back there. So what's
I'm trying to think of a third topic while you guys are arguing about the first topic.
You're so prepared. What's topic number 2, Jacob?
Topic number 2 is souvenir shot glasses.
One answer only.
Souvenir shot glasses?
Yeah, absolutely hot. My grandma collects them, and I love my grandma with every fiber of my being.
God.
But I mean, why not? It's a cool collectible thing.
Regardless of my answer, I look like an ass.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
You could say yes, and then it's like, he said yes to the spiked coffee. Now he likes shot glasses. He's an alcoholic.
He's an alcoholic.
Or I say no, and I'm shitting on your grandma.
Yeah, I mean, you better choose wisely. No, I mean, honestly, like, she does do that, and so, but like, honestly, I like collectibles. Like, I like collecting.
What kind of souvenir shot glasses are we talking? Like, are we talking
like anything that's just
from like an airport, or
yeah,
from like an amusement park? Like,
yeah, like my grandma has ones that are like Universal and ones that are like from LA and Disney and
why
like
specifically shot glasses though?
It's a really easy, tiny little thing to collect. Like, it's a collectible. It's something that like it's something you can get basically anywhere, right? Like, so it's like collecting like baseballs or something, because like anywhere you go that sells souvenirs, they have like a souvenir baseball. Like, I used to do that, and they have like, or like collecting stretch pennies. Like, it's one of those things you can kind of guarantee they're going to have anywhere, and it's something that's more of a collectible than a T-shirt.
I mean, I'll say they're hot, but I don't think I'll ever in my entire life buy one.
I mean, yeah. Again, it depends. Like,
that's why it's hard for me to say hot.
Is any shot glass that's not just like a plain shot glass, a collectible shot glass? Because like,
why are you buying shot glasses? Just pour it in a cup.
Well, so here, for example, I have a shot glass at home that my best friend from my hometown bought me because I went back not too long ago, and we went to a Sabres game. He bought us matching shot glasses, and we went back to his house afterwards, and we had a shot because I like never see him. And so I consider that a souvenir shot glass, right? But it has like meaning to me, and so it's like a cool thing. And like, my grandma collects them, and it like whatever. So like, it's not about it being a shot glass. It's just like a collectible thing that happens to be glass that's in the shape of a cup.
Yeah, Jacob, do they sell shot glasses at Disney? I don't know. I have no idea if they sell shot glasses at Disney.
I'm sure they got us somewhere.
I know in California Adventure you can get alcohol.
Yeah, and
like
Epcot you can get.
And in Disney now, if you go to the speakeasy at
and
Star Wars Land.
Plus, there's like a whole city walk outside of the actual parks.
They definitely you should be able to get a shot glass at Disney.
He's a double cup.
I'm bugging with it. I respect it.
Oh man! All right, Jacob, you got your third topic?
I do.
Okay, let's hear it.
Themed baby holiday pictures.
Themed baby holiday.
So like,
so hyper specific.
So like, for example, like,
am I allowed to show you my themed baby pictures?
Are you gonna put your baby in like a pilgrim costume?
So like, it's Halloween. We cut out a pumpkin. We put the baby in the pumpkin.
Dude, fuck your happiness. Honestly, at this point,
I just want a kid of my own.
Yeah, where do we stand?
I'm just trying to start a family.
Adoption?
I don't know. I thought you were putting in the paperwork.
I love alcohol, so
I don't know.
Probably won't
probably
pass
not great for the officials. Are probably not.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be your name on the paperwork.
Yeah, that's fine. But
themed baby photos.
You know how I feel about babies. Like, I just like motherfuckers. I don't like, and I know I'm not saying this to you specifically, Jacob. But like, I don't care about your baby. So like, if you like do it, if you want to do it, go off. But like, I don't give a shit.
It's for the person.
It's like memories. Like I've definitely softened up on this stuff a lot since my sister had a baby with my nephew. Like I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, how do you feel about baby birthday parties now, Shawn?
Oh, the birthday parties are still stupid, but like I have a better understanding of why they're done. Like they're not for the kid. I get that. I can appreciate that. It's for the family and everything like that. What? All right. But like, so like, go off. But I'm not gonna sit here and say they're hot. Like they're just like. It seems like unnecessary work. Like just take a picture of the kid. I don't know.
This is like the shot glasses thing for me.
Yeah.
Like
I missed the opportunity. Family holiday like the Halloween costumes.
Oh, well,
too.
we can pivot.
We can do both.
Costumes?
Like a family costume for Halloween.
No, that is hot. That's why you have kids.
That's why you have kids?
Is to do dumb shit like that. Yes. You have, because the whole reason to have kids is you have a little like miniature you who basically has to do everything you say. So anything you want. I
don't think based off of that we're gonna be able to adopt a kid.
We're probably not adopting a kid.
Why do you want him? Because I want him to do shit.
Probably not finding my wife in the chat either. But I mean, like, yeah, no, that's just cool. Like matching pajamas, like why not? Like I'm in for that stuff. It's probably never going to be my the matching costumes might be my idea. The matching pajamas probably wouldn't be my idea, but like
I like the Halloween.
We're definitely a matching pajama family.
Yeah, like why not? It's cute.
Christmas.
It's a funny little picture. Like
Shawn, having kids is hot.
Having kids is hot, dog. I'm trying to have a baby.
God.
I want to start a family.
We're gonna clip that and just send that out there. Glenn in the chat love themed holiday photos, especially if they're funny.
Shawn's something on live.
God, yeah, man. I don't know how I feel about it. Like I don't really give a shit.
Yeah, right. Like
I don't have a kid. Well, if I ever have a kid and I'm still doing this show, bring this back up, and then I'll let you know what my answer is.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm
different.
at. Like I don't know. I don't really have much of a right to like.
Yeah, again,
I don't have a kid.
I look bad. We look bad regardless. I say yes, it's hot. And I don't have a kid, so that's weird. And then I say no, it's not hot, and it's like, oh, you're shitting on Jacob's Thanksgiving photos.
Like, if I had a kid and someone was like, and my wife or whatever was like, oh my god, let's go put our kid in a pumpkin. I'd be like, I think my first reaction would be like, oh, okay, like, well, I guess. Like,
that just seems so extra.
Yeah, that's kind of my like.
It's Halloween. This motherfucker, he's gonna hate this photo when he's older.
That's also like, I don't know. It's just like take a normal picture.
I guess if it's free, it's hot if it's like free and you're bored.
If it happens on accident, like maybe you're carving pumpkins and it's a big pumpkin, the baby, you're not paying attention, the baby crawls and you're like, oh my god, it's so cute. Or you're carving out pumpkins and you're like, oh my god, let's put the baby in the pumpkin. And you take pictures. That's cute. But you go to like a studio, a photo studio where we're like, we want pumpkin, like that stuff.
No, we're talking home photo.
Yeah, that's fine. Go like you're home, you got the stuff, whatever. Like it's memories. It's. Yeah, I'm not like a big picture taker, but like I'm this is gonna sound so douchey, but like I'm very much like in the moment. Like I don't like when I'm doing things. I wanted to throw up. I just like I never think to take pictures.
Shawn's anti-taking videos at concerts.
No, I'm not.
Okay. I'm anti-taking videos at concerts. If
of
you're
the whole concert,
if you're just live streaming the shit. What the fuck are you there for?
Like, I go to Travis Scott and Sheck West. I'm taking a video of Astroworld. This is our fifth topic, by the way. I'm taking a video of... I know.
Let's just do hot or not of everything ever.
I'm taking a video. Like, when Sheck West comes out and does Mo Bamba, I'm taking a video of that. I'm sorry.
But probably not the whole song.
But not the whole... Yeah, just the oh fuck shit part. Like, that's when I'm taking a video.
And
I wanted that moment.
You're still going crazy in that shit.
Hard. And I watch it and I'm like, damn, that shit goes crazy.
I'm ready to go see Sheck West.
But, like, I'm not... Sheck West is dog shit. His third song, I'm turning the camera off. I'm
probably leaving.
Exactly. Like that's when I'm going to the bathroom. So like, it seems unnecessary. Yeah, man. Like I'm very much like, I don't have anything against people that take a lot of pictures and photos. I think in theory I would like to take more, but when I'm there, I just like it genuinely is something that does not cross my mind a lot of the time.
No, have fun. Be there. It's a good time.
Especially if I'm with other people. Like I'm like, I'm talking to people.
Yeah, if you find yourself at a Sheck West concert and after Mo Bamba you need something to do, why don't you go get yourself a Four Peaks? Because whatever venue it is, they're probably bound to have Arizona's favorite beer, and it's our favorite beer as well. I heard you on TPSP earlier talking about a golden lager sometime this weekend.
Yeah. Tomorrow we got the D-backs takeover. Excuse me, already sold out. And we're having our pregame meetup at the Four Peaks draft room up in right field, they have like a large selection of the Four Peaks beers, more than you can get throughout the rest of the park. And I'm thinking I might try to go and log. I get wows whenever I'm at the games, but mix it up. It's been a while since I've gone back to one of my favorites.
Yeah, I mean, they got it all over at Four Peaks. And if you're not going to the game, maybe check out Four Peaks 8th Street Pub in Tempe for their drinks, their amazing food. I've been meaning to check out their brunch still, so I've heard really, really good things. Guys, maybe head over there this weekend. Get some brunch if you're not going to Camp T. Get yourself an ice cold beer, a peach ale, a wow, whatever your heart desires. Guys, again, check out Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brew. You do got to be 21 years or older to drink Four Peaks, and please drink responsibly.
Yeah, and Four Peaks is also a pretty good place to watch sports. Last time I was there, the Women's World Cup was on. I remember watching some Stanley Cup hockey there last year when I was, and it's great because you need a good sport place with a lot of TV showing different sports. If you're going to be betting on sports, you got to be able to keep track of it. One of my favorite memories was a nice backdoor cover of a goalie's saves over in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Not this past one, but the season before that when we were at Four Peaks one time. It was actually during the Stanley Cup, I think, when the Avalanche won it. But I love betting on sports. It makes sports more fun. It makes sports that you don't care about more fun. I can go into the game tomorrow. Like I said, I'm going to be putting a bunch of money on the Arizona Diamondbacks to finally get a win. If they don't tonight, at least. They're wearing the purple jerseys. They're wearing the purple and teal.
They're bound for a win.
They got to get a dub this weekend.
They need to just swallow their pride and
wear them forever.
And wear all of the 2001 jerseys forever.
I mean, yeah, I agree wholeheartedly.
Make that pitch, Jacob.
But while we figure out what jerseys are going to wear, while they figure it out, head over to the BetMGM Sportsbook app. Place some bets on whatever sports you're watching. It's the best way to watch sports. Trust. Football's back. You can bet on preseason football. It's amazing. And if you haven't joined BetMGM yet,
now's the time.
Now's the time because, like I said, football's around the corner. All the sports are ramping back up, and they always got your back with different bonus bets. Log in today, just free bonus bet.
Yeah, free bonus bet.
Free bonus bet. So sign up for BetMGM. Use bonus code PHNX. There's a few different offers depending on where you live. But for our Arizona audience, you place your first bet offer and receive up to $1,000. That's 1, a comma, and 3 zeros after it. You'll receive that back in bonus bets if it loses. Check out the show notes for full details. And now listen to Shano talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-522-4700 Nevada. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., Kansas, Nevada, New York, or Ontario.
Bees in the chat. Four Peaks quesadillas go so hard, and I immediately want to eat a quesadilla.
He literally, when our mics were off there, he was like, "Nah, damn, I want a quesadilla."
That sounds so.
Yeah, no, and actually, they do. You get it with I think they got blackened chicken in it. Insane, dog. Okay. All of their food is fucking delicious. Yeah. Like, I know we say that a lot. You probably just think, I
mean, we already read the ad. So
yeah, this is free. Like, it does go crazy. The quesadillas go hard. I love, obviously, the tendies. Everyone likes the tendies. And the French dip. Try the French dip.
Damn it, now I'm hungry.
They're stupid. We need to go for brunch.
Yeah, we do.
Like, I can't imagine. Their food goes crazy, and breakfast food is the best meal of the day, in my opinion.
Stop at Dunkin' and get a spiked coffee.
Well, I don't know about all that. I would rather just go have coffee and a Four Peaks beer.
Yeah, that's fair. Guys, if you enjoyed the content, give us a follow at PHNX_ Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony _Tocher. You can follow Shawn DePaz at Shawn _DePaz.
Ooh, keeping my coffee and alcohol separate as always.
And if you're at Camp T tomorrow, say what's up. And again, stay locked in on social media because we will be there with everything you need to know as it relates to Arizona State. But if I don't get the luxury of seeing all of your fine faces this weekend, then I will see you Monday at 2 p.m. But for now, guys, peace.